Hi guys, it's Ilze Be here. It's Friday and I come live with this video today. Although I hope that I would be able to share the first private tutoring with somebody because last Friday I came live and I said that if you have an idea and if you have one specific thing that you'd like me to teach you, then you can write me an email and we would discuss your idea and I would invite you for private tutoring for maybe 10 minutes or so and I would teach you that thing about learning Latvian or something in Latvian, and or you would have a question how to translate something into Latvian. So there were actually some people who wrote to me their questions, and we scheduled a live session with one of them. But what happened was actually, I don't know what exactly happened, but that session got canceled. And then I tried to schedule another one, but we just had too little time. And I think the student or that person was not ready for that. And so I have no recorded lesson to share with you, but I came live anyway because it's Friday. I have promised you that I would try to be here every Friday or either with a recorded video or I'll just come live and tell you something. So I received also several questions, but one question was very broad and loaded, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. There was somebody who asked me to possibly talk about Latvian nouns and their declensions and cases, and also about verbs and verb conjugations. But that is a very, very broad subject to talk about. So I am actually preparing a live workshop to host in May, and then I will talk a little bit about it. But I just want you to know that I have a course and it takes 4 months to learn about Latvian nouns and everything related about nouns and their declensions and cases. However, what I'll do today is I will guide you to one of my blog posts where I have written about the cases. And that's very informative, and you might want to read that blog post. I give you a lot of information in it. And I'd also like you to teach how to say noun in Latvian and um, declensions of nouns. And I actually wrote down that word combination so that if you want, and if you don't have time to wait, if you want to look for it urgently, you can Google this word combination, which we pronounce lietvārdu deklinācijas, lietvārdu deklinācijas, and that means declensions of nouns. So if you want to try to find this information, maybe there probably are some charts where you can see nouns and their endings and how they change and how what declension has what ending. Then you can find this information. Then you can go to my blog post and read about the cases. And I'll remind you that my website is called ilzeb.com, ilzeb.com. And there is a blog post where you would see a picture, a woman knitting, and the picture is a woman knitting. But in that blog post, I'm talking about actually cases and when each case is used in Latvian. That might be informative because it requires some shift in thinking. How we think in English is not the same way how Latvians think when they think about uh, um, when they speak. When we really think a little bit differently, and so that would be something to read about in order to prepare yourself for learning Latvian more thoroughly. And if you are interested in verbs on my website, you can also see lessons about verbs. But if you are just beginning to learn Latin, really the thing to start with, to begin with, is first of all, you really need to learn how to read in Latin, how to read each letter and letter combinations. And then it would be good also to listen to Latvian words and try to write down. For that, I have a course. But I have a free course, How to Read Latvian Letters, that you can also find on my website. That would be the thing to begin with. Then the next thing is really to learn some separate words. And I have a nice video somewhere here on YouTube where I am talking about prepositions like the, to the right, to the left, straight ahead. That is something also very important to begin with, because if you learn about objects, for instance, a house and the church and then the bridge, then you can use those words just as they are in their base forms. And then you just have that preposition, which is the word where you say near, like a church near the house or across the bridge. Those words are prepositions. That's a good thing to learn too. And then the next thing is to learn about the declensions and cases. That would be like a step number 3. And verbs is the most difficult thing to learn. Verbs is, yes, is tricky. That's tricky. But if you want to search for information about the verbs, then in Latvian you would search this word combination. I will read it out loud. Darbības vārdu konjugācijas. Darbības vārdu means verbs. There are 2 words. In Latvian, it's not just verbs, but darbības means action, and vārdu means words. Verbs are action words. So that's what it means. And then conjugācijas, of course, means conjugations. So if you write this down and then try to Google it, to search it in your on internet, then you can come up with something. But I also have lessons on my website. You can go through those verb challenges. I have altogether, I think I have 5 classes on my website. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So now, if you have questions, I realize that it's probably a little bit scary to write a question to me and then schedule a lesson, even if it's a short one, and then know that it's going to be recorded, and then I would post it on internet. And what if you don't like how you acted on that video? I get it. I totally get it. So how about you just write your questions to me, and if you go to my website, you can sign up to receive email from me, and then you would get an email from me. You'd see my email address, and you can write to me. I read all the emails, and I will pick out those questions that I think are most important for everybody, and I will answer them in my videos. How about that? Does that sound like a good plan? But if you still want to have a live tutoring with me one-to-one, I would give a preference to those questions. So write an email to me, ask me a question, and we might have a have a session together. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'll wish you a good weekend ahead and say bye-bye. Bye.